goodness sake. Where is he? He was meant to be here half-hour ago.
Katie, hi. Am I early? Living on a boat on the river sounds idyllic, doesn't it? But what about if you lived on a boat that was 100% solar powered and you had no bills? So I've come here to talk to Ryan about his beautiful wide beam solar powered boat. This is the Everything Electric Show. If you like everything electric, then you'll love our live events. Next up, we're in Amsterdam for Fully Charged Live Europe on the 24th, 25th and 26th of November. Ryan, I'm really impressed. This is such a beautiful boat. Can you tell me how this all came about?
Wow, it's a long story, but my partner and I, Hayley, both had separate boats, living separately, and then we ended up spending more time on each other's boats. And we decided to sail up and have this commissioned and built. So we had it built from scratch. And she just exceeded our expectations by far. She was designed to be electric and solar, and as eco as we could, so extra insulation, triple glazing, all the things we could do to make her as sustainable as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. And I can see you've got a substantial amount of solar on the roof there, which is beautifully sort of set into the boat. It's great.
Yeah, no, we had the roof specially made flatter than a standard boat just so we could make them look integrated, and she's slightly wider than a normal boat, so we could get 6 kilowatts on the boat.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got battery storage as well.
Yes, and we've got massive batteries, so they're old forklift lead acid batteries, but there's 2.4 tons of them.
Wow.
So a 96 kilowatt hour battery. So it's,
wow.
yeah.
Okay, that really, now I really understand. That's like weeks of
exactly,
energy use you've got there.
The idea of that is we obviously often the weather's just like this and then we're not producing very much, but when we have those sunny days we can build up and we can store all that energy rather than having a small battery deplete it and then wait for a sunny day. We have it. So half the battery bank's in here, Robert, so we go in there.
And they are big units, aren't they? So they're that is the top, but there isn't like layers there. That's one battery that goes all the way down there.
They're made up of 2-volt cells, which are 800 millimeters high.
Wow.
50 kilos each, and there are 48 of them all together.
Wow.
They all linked up in series to create the 48 volts that we need.
Right, and that's the same on the other side?
Yeah, it's exactly the same on the other side. That's half of it.
Yeah, and also when you say about the weight, I was imagining this huge, but actually it's quite
compact.
heavy. They're actually
Yeah.
very compact. Yeah. No, it fits in there beautifully.
Yeah, I mean that bank would normally sit where a diesel motor would go, so it kind of replaces the weight almost.
Yeah.
It's heavier than a diesel motor, but it's still almost a replacement for weight-wise.
Right. According to the Canal and River Trust, more than 15,000 people live permanently on the UK's canals and waterways. Renewable energy can provide us with a sustainable solution to transform our rivers and canals, reducing or completely eliminating the need for fossil fuels. And interestingly, from 2025, Amsterdam's ancient canals will be fully electric with a ban on diesel engines coming into place. Well, this is such a lovely space, right? I mean, it's very easy to forget you're actually on a boat. It looks like a really nice house. But
No, thanks. It was, kind of, we try to have a minimalist design. Boats, because they're generally small spaces, the more stuff you put in, the more cluttered. Yeah. So we try to...
No, it feels very airy. But then, so the windows, well, they're triple glazed, are they?
Yeah, so we try to be as eco as we can. So they're all triple glazed, which we actually had made ourselves. And then the insulation is also triple. So generally boat builders just spray 25 mil insulation. We went 75 mil just to try and contain all our heat that we produce. Yeah.
And that's up in the ceiling as well?
Ceiling all the way around. And then underneath the underfloor heating, there's 100 mil of hard insulation as well.
Right.
So it's kind of this wrapped cocoon.
Because I suppose that's the natural thing with a boat. In my very limited experience, is you're basically living in a house that's surrounded by quite cold water.
Yeah.
But you're really protecting yourselves against
exactly.
that.
We've kind of sealed it. But because we are so sealed, we have to ventilate the boat.
Right.
So normally boats would have these mushroom vents.
Yeah.
And basically all whatever heat you create with
that's
the fire
going straight out
goes
there.
straight out your vents. Yeah. So we have a heat recovery ventilation system. Germans have been using these in house building for
a long
30
time.
years. Yeah. And what it does is it takes the warm, stale air from a high points in the boat. It puts it through a heat absorption capillary action, if you like, and it warms the fresh air coming in. So you recover 70% of the heat. while still changing all the air in the boat all the time. Yeah,
So the
continuously.
actual air that's coming in is warmed.
Yeah,
effectively.
it's pre-warmed and it's clean and it's fresh, so you're not rebreathing the stale
And does
air.
that doesn't use a lot of energy,
It's a
presumably?
10-watt fan. It's
Right, tiny.
It's a no-brainer.
With your batteries.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All boats should have them. It's bizarre that they don't. It's,
Yeah, it seems a simple thing. But I mean, I suppose that's the beauty of working from scratch. So you've really, presumably, learnt a huge amount then building this.
Yeah, we had
about
lots
what
of
works
research.
and,
The build only took a year, but the research, I was researching it for probably 5-6 years
Right.
before that. Yeah, the planning.
Yeah. And then I'm fascinated by the concrete then. So that was like delivered onto the boat liquid, or was it blocks?
Yeah, no, we poured that in. So,
Right.
so normally a boat would have to have about 7 tons of concrete blocks in it for ballast, just to keep the boat in the water.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to have that anyway. But then we also wanted to store heat so that we could keep it. So we insulated underneath it.
Right.
And then we threw this 18 tons of concrete slab, which we have plumbing pipes through.
Right.
So when the fire's on, it turns
So that
the
is
pump
only
on.
heated by the fire. There's no other
Only
way of
heated
heating
by the
it,
fire.
right?
Yeah.
But and that stores that heat. The heat you're getting out of that.
Yeah, exactly. So we burn the fire hot for about 2 or 3 hours in winter when it's super cold.
Right.
The next morning the boat's still warm. She's still at 18 degrees. The
Wow.
slab will be about 18, 19 degrees.
Absolutely love it. And the kitchen is beautiful and very. I'd love to cook in it. It looks really efficient. But you've got so everything's electric. There's no gas hobs or anything like that.
Yeah, it's all electric. I mean, we've gone with very efficient appliances just to try and conserve the energy that we producing.
Yeah.
So it's an induction hob, like energy rating A+ for the oven. And we actually started using an air fryer. I know there's a lot of
Right.
stuff which is insanely efficient.
Right.
It's just
Because I've only used one once. It worked really well. It was at someone else's house.
It
but
uses about a third of the energy to roast a chicken. So
Wow.
hour and a half roast chicken in the oven there. The same thing will happen about 45 minutes in there, but only using 1 kilowatt, where that's using 3 kilowatts. So it's just amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh, this is amazing! Wow, that is because this is what's really fascinating. Absolutely standard bath, absolutely standard sink. Could be in this. We could be in a house.
Yeah.
That looks slightly less standard. Looks slightly different.
So that's our composting toilet, which we absolutely love.
Right.
So it's waterless. It doesn't use any water to flush, so it saves on filling tanks, or we collect all our water from the roof. But saves a huge amount of water. Basically what happens is you sit, if you have a pee, you sit on it, all the liquids go down the front and they just get flushed away. If you do a number 2,
so that's and that opens when you apply pressure.
Yeah, when you sit.
I've never seen this before.
So you very rarely see what's happened.
No,
because you're sitting down when it happens.
And there's sawdust. All I can see is
so when we start the bucket, we put a bit of sawdust in. It just stops it sticking to the bucket.
Right.
It takes 2 of us about a month to fill a bucket.
Oh, God! Every time I come into a new bit, this is amazing. What a beautiful bedroom.
Yeah, no.
It must be stunning to wake up here and you've got the view out the door there. That's stunning. Wow.
Now you probably noticed our really high bed.
It is very high.
Unusual on a boat. There's 2 reasons for it.
Right.
One, normally boats' beds are low. But we need to store water because we collect all our rainwater from the roof. So we wanted as much water storage as we could. So there's a massive water tank under there.
Under the bed.
Yeah. And then secondly, you get a nice view. If up high, you can look out the windows. So
Yes. Wow. But is that potable water? I mean, is that water you use in the kitchen or what?
Yeah,
what's that used
it
for?
goes through a filtration system. So we have a treatment plant that treats it.
But so you actually don't have to go somewhere and fill up from a tap.
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks of storage. So I mean, the summers now we're getting longer than 2 weeks without water. So we do have to.
You do have to use that, right?
But for 2 of us, there's 2 weeks of water on board, which is nice. Yeah, until it rains. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's raining all day, so we've got. Nice
you're
full
okay
tanks.
today. Yeah, you're topping up well today.
Yeah.
But that is such a beautiful space. It really is delightful. Wow, it's amazing.
Please support our Stop Burning Stuff Patreon and help us to tackle misinformation about electric vehicles and clean energy.
So Ryan, quite often people talk to me about going off-grid and they're talking about their houses, and I always say to them, don't go off-grid, the grid's really useful. You need that for back and forth energy, all the stuff that could be happening in the future, but it really makes sense on a boat. You don't want to be on the grid on the boat because it's a pain. You've got to have a wire and you plug it in and it's difficult. You've done this remarkable thing. It's amazing what you've achieved. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, no, thank you. It is, it was our aim to be as efficient as we could and not rely on anything.
What would your advice be? Because there's going to be people watching this who just love to do what you've done. I mean, what's your advice if someone is thinking, I want to do that?
The first thing, Robert, is just to ignore all the people who say it can't be done,
Right.
because it can be done.
That's great.
And then do as much research as you can. Research and planning is going to save you a lot of costs.
Right.
We did a lot of experimenting, a lot of research, but a lot of experimenting. So we've kind of slowly evolved and tweaking the things that we do to kind of improve.
Right.
Yes, there's a wealth of information out there on YouTube. You obviously have to watch a lot of YouTube stuff and
Right.
build out the right stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a wealth of information out there, and
Right.
it can be done.
Well, Ryan, thanks so much for showing us around. I mean, it's been a genuine joy to find out all the things you've done here. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks,
so much.
Robert. Thank you so much for having us on. It's been great, really cool.
Well, I think we've proven today that this beautiful wide beam boat, the Sunflower, has proved beyond doubt that you can power a boat like this from solar, from batteries, the motors that was pushing us along now. It's so peaceful and quiet. It's such an improvement. Let's hope that all the boats on all the rivers around the world are like this in a few years' time. What a difference it would make. And it proves that it can be done. And there's loads of naysayers, but they're wrong. This is a brilliant example of what can be done. One day you'll work on Country File, Chris, then people walk in. Not on fully charged. We're just here.
What are you doing, Robert?
Okay, I'll pretend Robert's my husband.
What? Living on a boat is like an idyllic. Sorry, Ryan. That's going to be the problem.